that it connects a child to Ruchnius is if he's learning well. Learning well in yeshiva, that is critical. You can't understate, many kids that go off, first go off in learning in yeshiva. And the critical thing is that they should be doing well in yeshiva. That's a very hard thing. What if they're not at the level of the class? What if they're slower? What if they need more help? Whatever it is, please be proactive in this area. There are many parents that will go and speak to the teachers at PTA once, twice a year, and they feel they've done their obligation, or maybe they don't know any better. Like Rabbi Lev said, we're here to educate you to be more involved with your children. I have to share with you something I heard from Rav Turk, which I've said over many times, Rav Moshe Turk, the Talmud of the Chazon Ish. And he said like this: the world says small children, small problems, big children, big problems. That means when children are small, the problems are only small because the children are small. And when they get bigger, then they're big because the children are big. And he says, I say the other way around. I say small children, big problems, big children, small problems. If you're involved with your children when the problems are small, then when they get big, the problems are small. If you're proactive in your chinuch, one of the main areas, I can't understate this, Rabbi say, one of the main areas is to see to it that your child is doing well in yeshiva. They recently had the Aguda convention had a panel for mental health professionals. They asked me to write something. They posed 4 questions, and they handed out a manual for all the mental health professionals, a few hundred, I believe. And one of the questions was about a boy who's in Beis Medrash, and he's failing in Beis Medrash. What should he do? So I spoke this over with a friend of mine who's a mashgiach in a yeshiva gdola, Beis Medrash in Eretz Yisrael. But what the recommendations we gave were to help him succeed some way in learning, by setting him up for success, by giving him easier things to do. For example, he's in a class where they're learning I'll give you one example. A friend of mine is an educator here in LA. His name is Rabbi Litinatsky. I don't know if you heard of him. He's in Teres Emes, a famous educator. He was my assistant principal for a number of years in Eretz Yisrael. And we had a kid. The Rebbe comes to me and says, this kid has a head of stone. Nothing goes in. Absolutely nothing. So Rabbi Litinatsky had a great idea. What did we do? Every week they would have an oral test on Mishnayos. So we called the examiner, the boichen, we called him out before the test, and we called the boy out. The boy's name was Chaim. And we said, Chaim, this is the question they're going to ask you, and this is the answer. We set him up for a success. We told him the answer before the question. And he comes into the room, and the boichen says to him, okay, so what's the pshat here and here and here? And the boy says, I know. And he said the answer, this is a joke. We put him up to it. We told him it's fake. Fake success. What is that worth? After 3 times, I think, that we did that, the boy's head opened up. He started learning, and he went to one of the better high schools in Yerushalayim. When you set a kid, so you have to do everything in your power, and it can be done.